got this damn GoPro. Don't do what I do. I decided not to read the manual. I'm just going to wing it. See what happens here. I guess I should have showed you all that. Pretty easily, once I took this off, just kind of pried it and yanked it out from that end, it just fell right out. I can already see this whole thing is screwed up. So by the way, this suspension is, God, it's a little over 24 years old. So it is completely shot. I haven't really driven it much for really the last 3 years. It hadn't been safe to go over 25 miles an hour, so yep, tend to try and redo all the suspension, and just kind of want to show my progress along the way and get back to enjoying to drive this thing around. Alright, to see if shocks are bad, they basically say push them in and they should immediately come out at a fast speed. As you can see, this thing's barely creeping out. It ain't worth a darn. The loud noise you keep hearing in the background is my father running a wood planer. It's kind of funny. He's all for, oh yeah, make a video, share it with people. But here he is making a ton of noise and he doesn't get it. It totally screws up the audio. Sorry about this.
can't stress enough here, go extremely slow when you're removing this bolt. These two bolts on either side, they were heavily rusted. I sprayed lots and lots of penetrating oil. While it looks like I'm going fast, I'm being as gentle and as cautious as possible. As short as this seems, I've actually chopped out about 40 minutes of video just trying to get this thing out. Who wants to watch this much of me fumbling around? But here in a second here, you're going to see the bolt. It was extremely rusted.
Alright, this bolt came out of here. This is not normal. The other side looked exactly the same. This is what people complained about in the forums. So then when they pulled it out, it ended up breaking off. So it's I can only imagine if you're in New York with all the salt in the roads, it's got to be pretty bad and real pain in the butt to take this out. Oh, shoot. Don't worry, got another one of those. Got another one of those.
It's got a bit of surface rust on it. I'm just kind of scraping away for the new insulator pad to go on there. In the very near future, I will be changing this axle out and putting in a Dana 44. So I wasn't really super concerned about cleaning it that well to, you know, as far as keeping it from rusting. It was mainly just to allow that insulator pad to seat really well.
Yep, that's got to get taken off. I missed that for the upper control arm. Alright, as much as I wanted to film all this earlier, my father was making quite a bit of noise, so I figure I got a little free time here. And I'll try and give you all the rundown. And this was really pretty easy. So I just put the jack under the axle there, jacked it up, and started removing the, I think it's called a sway bar. I believe this is called a sway bar. And that goes over to there. And I removed that. Once I removed that, I removed the shocks here. That's where the shock mount is. And once I removed that, I was able to lower. The jack and bring this all the way down, and I was able to then pop out the spring. Once the spring came out, let's see if I can get some light here and help you see it. You'll see the black thing there, just under the spring there, and there's one up above. Those are insulators. So replace the insulators. This thing was so old, the bump stop was totally gone out of it. These little cups here, I bought these new. Even the bolt that goes through there, it was heavily rusted, but I was able to get it out without breaking. And so that all went in really pretty easily. I've got some pieces missing that I ordered from Rock Auto. Nothing against them, things happen. So these little rubber pieces in here, you can kind of really see the lighting's not too good. For, I guess that's the sway bar, there's little bushings in there. I'm waiting for those to come in, but for the most part I can pretty much put it all back together. The upper and lower control arms, I've replaced all them. These are pretty shot. These are pretty messed up. They were cracking, and this thing rode horrible, absolutely horrible. I highly recommend you'll spray everything with, I believe I used PB Blaster penetrating oil. Let everything sit for a day or so, and yeah, it worked pretty good. I'm pretty excited. I've got some Rancho shocks that are going to be going back into this thing. I'm a little nervous now that this thing might actually be quite stiff, but you know, it is what it is. It's got to be better than what it was. All the suspension is absolutely original. Now the springs here, these are called H&R. They claim to get like another inch and a half of clearance. I definitely noticed this piece here that they're way thicker than the originals. I think I did a screenshot. I'll have to edit this in later to show you the difference of the thickness, but it's quite a bit thicker, and it won't compress as much. So that's really pretty much about it. It was pretty straightforward and pretty easy. I still have to torque everything. I got to look in the manual to figure out what the torque specs are, but yeah, this is really about it. I've been looking online trying to find a Dana 44 axle. I need to re-gear this because I got a little bit oversized tires, and the engine kind of lugs and strains quite a bit. So I'm still looking for a Dana 44. The ones I see are either highly priced, rusted out, or they're highly priced and they're really far away. So eventually I'll find one and swap it out, and actually I'll probably re-gear it and then swap it out. And but yeah, I'm sorry for some of the loud editing that's going to be put into this, but I really wanted to try and kind of share this, and maybe if I can help out someone else. But for the most part, it's pretty straightforward and pretty easy. All right, almost 10:30 at night. I can't even believe I'm back out here again, trying to get a little bit more into this thing. Oh, Jesus, that's heavy. I hope that's right. Yeah, that looks right. Maybe all the loud people will be sleeping now and they won't make so much noise. I've been putting, I hate anti-seize, but gosh, I've been putting this stuff everywhere. I really lucked out. I really thought I was going to have to replace a lot of these bolts. In my early 20s, I spent some time in Colorado, and I'm glad I pretty much was pressure washing this thing every week in the winter. I think that's what really saved me, even though the axle looks quite rusted. I don't really care, but just kind of doing all this. This is just temporary to oh shoot, just temporary to get it back and torque it. I'll tell you the hardest thing about doing this is remembering where all my tools are at. It's a good thing for Eddie, because I sure do curse like a sailor. Don't forget to put this piece back in. I didn't even see it. It's a little nut welded to this piece of plate. That definitely helps out.
The track bar was quite irritating for me to install this. I actually had to shove the axle either to the passenger side or the driver's side after I got this bolt in to get it all to line up because it was so stiff and so tight. I just kind of want to turn off some of this because there was a lot of rambling of me talking because I was just so exhausted.